Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Good morning, Chirag. Good morning, Aditya. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, all of you. So, how is the weather there today?
Sir, very cool.
Very cold.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about Asnavar?
Sir, same here.
Same here. Ramaj Mandi.
Actually, I am in Indore.
Okay, you are in Indore.
Yes,
Very
sir.
okay. And what about Indore? How is the weather there?
Sir, here the temperature is moderate, not very cold.
It's raining.
No, sir.
Okay. Normal.
It's very cloudy but not raining.
Okay. Okay. What about Ramaj Mandi? Prakshal Daga.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How is the weather there in your area? Yes, Prakshal.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking something you are not getting it, I think.
Sir, actually, your voice is coming very low.
My voice is very low. Hello.
Yes, sir. I'm able to hear properly.
Okay, okay. What about others, rest of you? Do you hear me clearly? Tell me. Mukul,
Sir,
Yes, sir.
it's
Now
normal,
you.
sir.
Yes,
It's audible.
it's normal audible. What about you? One who is sitting in Indore, Chirag. How is my voice?
Yes, sir. It's clear. It's normal.
Okay. And Aditya, how is it, Aditya?
yes, sir.
It's coming clear.
Audible, sir.
Okay, now
Yes,
Prakshal,
sir.
is it coming clear or problem only with
So
you
previously it was not coming. Now
now?
it's okay.
Okay, okay. So fine. Uh, previous day we did activity, that is the speaking test, and Aditya had spoken, Chirag also spoke, Mukul, Prakshal, Gracie, they have spoken. I had told Keshav Khandelwal to be ready. He is not here. Srishti Kashyap, her mic doesn't function. Gorang Soni was also there, but he also did not appear today. Anyway, now today we shall go for another activity, that is listening test. So, listening activity. All of you, I have sent you sheet on the group. Did you get it? PDF?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Okay. So that is your sheet. The questions are given there. There are 4 tasks. It's only a demo sheet, only an example for you, only a practice sheet. So like this, whenever ASL is conducted according to the CBSE norms, like this, the sheets are given to you by the teacher. So it could be either one of the activities conducted, either it could be only listening test or only speaking test, but it's preferred that both the activities should be conducted, speaking and listening both. So students, they are able to show their skill of speaking also, at the same time developing listening habit. So developing listening habit is very, very important. This activity was not there earlier. It was included only 5 to 6 years back. So the purpose of this activity is only to make students a little practical, so that students may take English as a practical subject, because Earlier they used to take it as only a subject where they have to score marks, but not now. Now they have to focus on what others are saying, and we understand, we we learn from others also, from our surrounding also. So it's very important to develop a listening habit. At the same time, students are studying in English medium schools, so there are many schools, many students, they can't speak proper English. And once you are studying in English medium school, you must be able to communicate effectively, properly, correctly, in correct English. That is the purpose, that's the practical purpose of ASL. So the full form of ASL is Assessment of Speaking and Listening. Speaking and listening skill. So all of you can go through the sheet which I have sent you on your WhatsApp, and then based on that sheet, remember, based on that sheet, I am going to read a passage for you. So either it could be a reading or it could be a recording which is pre-recorded. But I am going to read the script which I have. And on the basis of that script, on the basis of that small paragraphs given, you will have to answer different tasks, different questions given in different tasks. So those who did it earlier, they know it very well what they have to do. But those who are joining it new first time, they might have any confusion, so you can discuss. So first you go through the sheet, task 1. Go through task 1, read the question, read the options, what you have to do, and then I will read the paragraph, and based on that paragraph, you will have to answer only the questions of task 1. Then I shall go for task 2, then task 3, and finally task 4. So like this, I will read all the different tasks. Clear everybody? Anybody has confusion before we go?
No, sir, no confusion.
Yes, Prakshal Daga, clear? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Okay. So go through task 1 from the sheet which I have sent you on the group. Go, you have 30 seconds. And you can write the answer in any rough notebook, in any rough page. Refer your mobile for reading the questions, and the answer you can write on any rough page, rough notebook. So now I am going to read the script for you. Listen very carefully, because the answers are here, but sometimes the answers may not be direct. The answers are hidden sometimes they are indirect, sometimes direct. So you have to find out the answers. Okay, so listen carefully. You will hear 5 short extracts of people talking about technology in schools. Read the statements below, then listen to the extracts and match each statement A to G, each speaker 1 to 5. There are 2 statements you do not need. So there are 7 statements given. Out of 7, you have to do only 5. You will hear the recording twice. Speaker 1. Schools are changing, becoming smarter. The days of lugging around huge school bags, making notes, and mugging from textbooks are gone. They have given way to smart classrooms with whiteboards on which content can be saved, stored, and viewed online. Schools were experimenting with basic technology till recent times, but this is no longer the case. Class notes are now emailed to students. There are graphic calculators and Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. Homework assignments are posted online. All of this is designed to make teaching more interactive by video conferencing and live broadcasting. Speaker 2. What does so much technology do to a child's learning life? Today, a teacher's job is to focus on concepts rather than content. He should be able to teach more than what Google has to offer. However, while we embrace technology, we have to be extra cautious as kids are highly vulnerable to cybercrime. So the question is, how much technology is too much in schools? While smart classes have their advantages, it doesn't make any sense to make 7-year-olds carry a laptop to school. If students can read up everything online, they may become complacent and even stop going to school. Speaker 3. Children aren't as attentive as they used to be before smartboard devices were incorporated into teaching. Some children no longer take notes. Those using internet 24/7 are easily distracted. Children miss out on writing skills. Let's face it, the traditional tools of teaching will never become obsolete. Another drawback of the net age is that students are at a loss if they don't understand content on the web or have a guide at hand. Technology can never replace a teacher. Speaker 4. Gen Y seems to be comfortable with the technology, even though parents and teachers are still in adjustment mode. I don't know which generation will be the better off in the long run, though. It's good for their brains, but is it good for them in other ways? Children are mentally active, not so physically. Speaker 5. Technology is here to stay, and we will just have to accept it. But there is no doubt that children's handwriting and vocabulary have suffered. However, the danger is not so much from the use of technology in a supervised classroom, but rather what a child will do at home when he is alone. Lost in a virtual world. His health, ability to engage with others, natural curiosity about his surroundings, and imagination are bound to suffer. If pen and paper once defined school days, it's the stylus and touch screen that do so today. Perhaps the two can coexist. So this is what about task 1. There are 5 speakers talking. They are expressing their views, their ideas, their experience on school, technology, and other things. Now, based on your listening, you have to answer the questions asked in task 1. So all of you have got the sheet there. You answer what is spoken by speaker 1 till speaker 5. You will have to match the following. You do it, and then we shall move to next task.
Yes, sir, done.
Done, all of you? 30 minutes. Now you will have 30 seconds for rechecking and completing this task.
Yes, sir, done.
Actually, in audio, if I had played the audio repeats it twice. But I am reading it only once because I know my students are very intelligent, very attentive, very dedicated, very hardworking, that
Sir, done.
reading once is sufficient for them. So therefore, I have read it only once. Now, let's go to the task 2. Before we read task 2, all of you go through the questions given in task 2. Go through the questions given in task 2. You have 30 seconds for that. Task 2. You will hear 3 people talking about homework. Read the sentence below, then listen to the conversation and choose A, B, or C for each sentence. You will hear the recording twice. Intro female, school homework, the bane of many a household, has been closely studied by a pair of Australian academics who found that homework for young primary school children is of little or no value when it comes to academic achievement. Rachel Carbonell spoke to the book's authors, Richard Walker and Professor Mike Horsley, about their views. Light mail. I realize there is a lot of disagreement, but the consensus finding would be that homework is not very beneficial for primary school kids. You know, there are very little benefits for junior high school kids and only reasonable benefits for senior high school kids. Thinking about the effect of the involvement of parents in homework, where parents are over controlling or interfere in their kids' homework activities, then that's clearly not beneficial, is it? But where parents essentially try to provide guidance, then that situation is beneficial for students. Not many parents actually do this. They tend to take control, but if they can take a backseat, then this supports their kids' autonomy rather than them being interfering and controlling. Female. Well, despite the research showing overall that homework is of limited value for younger children, it didn't discount the value of homework in children. For example, if said that it helps to develop other skills such as managing their time and setting and completing tasks, deep male. Yes, but the fact is that the quality of the homework that is set is more important than the quantity. We think that there is probably too much homework, which is basically just practicing and repeating the work done in the classroom. Female. I think the book is valuable because it's aimed at teachers and parents as well as students. I suppose, in essence, it proposes a rethink of homework, doesn't it? Light mail. Yes. For example, it suggests that teachers should develop a homework curriculum. That is, when the teachers are planning their unit of work, they should probably plan homework at that time. Homework is often an add-on. So one of the things that we hope to achieve is to try and get the planning of homework to be more sophisticated, much more structured and organized. Deep mail. The other thing is that homework tends to be seen as being an individual activity. But if you see homework as being social and cultural in nature, then you are going to set different types of homework for students. If you believe this, then you are probably going to emphasize more collaborative learning. You are probably going to emphasize the fact that students need some assistance with their homework from parents and other people rather than just idea of students sitting at home in isolation doing their homework. All of you do the questions
Done,
given
sir.
in task 2. Very good. If you have done, you are very fast. Those who have not done, 20 seconds for them. And recheck those who have done. Now go through the questions given in task 3. Read the questions given in task 3 and then I shall read the passage for you. Task 3. You will hear Sarita Shah giving a presentation on heating problem and solution for them. Read the question below, then listen to the extract and choose 4 of the option A to G which are correct. You will hear the recording twice. Which 4 of the following statements does the speaker believe to be true? Heat mapping. Hello, I am Sarita Shah, working at Heatwell, an upcoming heat mapping company in New Delhi. Do you know where your insulation gaps are? As the winter months arrive and much of northern India braces itself for icy weather, we take to the streets to let homeowners know exactly where their heating expenses are escaping. We provide suggestions about how to make your homes more energy efficient. We drive around as many streets as possible, taking pictures of people's homes in our SUV, equipped with infrared cameras, heat mapping, whatever homes are visible on both sides of the street. The photos give a quick assessment of each structure's thermal envelope and highlight areas where heat is escaping into the outside air. In blobs of color ranging from black coldest to purple, orange and yellow, which is the hottest, the images can be used as a thermal map to prioritize areas that need extra insulation. usually around windows, eaves, and spaces between floors. The images are then processed on the company's software and stored on a secure server. Homeowners can then type in their addresses to see if their homes have been covered and get a free assessment. Heatwell can then recommend local insulation companies, window installers, etc., that can provide fitting to help plug the gaps. The only challenge that we face is the concern for privacy expressed by the people, but we at Heatwell insist that our cameras cannot see through walls or windows. So it is impossible to see people or object inside the buildings. Also, the images are stored on a secure server, and homeowners can also opt out of the program and have the photos deleted at their request. It can be proved that about 50% of household energy waste result from breachers in a home's heat envelope. The company estimates that residential buildings can easily save rupees 37,000 to 75,000 per year. Now check your answers. That's the end of task 3. Check your answer.
Done, sir.
Those who have done, move on to the questions
Sir, done.
given for task 4. Move on to the questions given in task 4. Go through them and then listen and answer. Task 4. You will listen to someone talk about things that irritate them on Indian roads. Read these sentences, then listen to the speaker and complete these sentences in 1 or 2 words only. You will hear the recording twice. You will listen to someone talk about things that irritate them on Indian roads. Read these sentences, then listen to the speaker and complete these sentences in 1 or 2 words only. An average Indian road is an irritating place to be in. Be it a biker, a truck driver, a car owner, a cyclist, a scooter, or a mere pedestrian. It is a path full of uncertainties, dangers, and at times unintended amusements. Today, I want to discuss what is it that irritates me the most when I am on the road. I'm sure I will get a fair share of people supporting me on this. Honking and too much of it at that is a problem. A big one. In India, people often think they will clear a traffic jam simply by honking their horns. Does not happen. What happens instead is high blood pressure for some, road rage for others, and frustration for the rest. If there are any left, they simply turn up the volume. I think last ones are the smartest and get home first. Why are people so obsessed with high beam headlights? I will never know, and to be sure, I never use high beam myself. See, high beam has its uses on a highway with high speed traffic and one way roads. It is the only way to drive. But in cities with well lit roads, as in Delhi, Mumbai, and some other cities, it is a nightmare. In fact, it is criminal to use high beam, or should at least be. Rear view mirrors have a purpose and are supposed to be used. Pity, we don't realize that out of laziness or sheer callousness. I'm yet to figure out the number of cars on the road who never bother putting into use the rear side view mirrors. Incredible. You don't need University of Cambridge research to prove that. Simply roam around the city and casually note the number of cars with a folded side view mirror, or those without one at all. Somehow, to me, a rear side view mirror is more useful than a normal rear view mirror. It helps you reverse and also when you wish to change lanes. And yet, people don't use it. Shame, shame. And now the bikers, they are a bunch of crazy people. They zigzag around, sometimes appear in front of you out of nowhere, and at a time disappear too without warning. And in India, there are so many of them. So they make my life hell. But what is it with SUVs though? You are big, you are spacious, you are frightening, but you don't own the road. Not in the city anyway, because you are heavy. You are also slow, and no matter how hard you try, you can't get further ahead of my Maruti 800 from one red light to the next. So stop giving me those looks. I'm scared, but can't be defeated. Irritating. So that's the end of paragraph 4, task 4. Go through the answers, recheck if you have done, and those who have not done, do it quickly. You have 20 seconds for that. Done, all of you?
Yes, sir, done.
Very good. I shall send the answer.
Done, sir.
I will send the answer on the group. Okay, you can verify it, check it, how much marks you get out of 20. There are 20 questions for 20 marks. Okay. See you then. Goodbye. We meet tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We meet tomorrow
you,
with
sir.
next worksheet.